Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 2022 is releasing this week, but luckily I was able to play the campaign early. So this is my quick review of the Modern Warfare 2 2022 campaign. Don't worry, it's spoiler free. I won't talk about what happens in the story, and there'll only be the first mission playing in the background. Other than that, let's get into it. So, starting off, the story itself is awesome. Like I said, I won't talk about it and like what happens within it, but just know the story itself is pretty cool. It definitely takes you through a journey, and just for the story alone, I definitely think that right there is worth experiencing. Moving on, the visuals are really good within the game. Graphically, it looks amazing. I don't know how it looks on all platforms, but at least on my computer, it looked really good, and I really don't have the best computer in the world. I'm not running like a super crazy GPU, so it at least looked good for me. And other people said it was looking pretty good for them. My game, performance wise, my game had only crashed once at the very beginning, but other than that, it was just that one time it crashed, and since then it hasn't crashed then. Um, I know one of my friends was saying that his game had crashed a few times. Um, so I don't know. Beware. Maybe it could be a problem you could run into. Your game might crash. It might not. And I did have visual problems at first. Nothing crazy. It was kind of like I was kind of seeing like white dots in the background of my gameplay. I went into my settings and adjusted a few things, and it went away. So I think it just really depends on what you're running the game at and how well your PC is able to run it at, and or I'm not sure if console has the ability to change around settings as in depth as PC. If you are able to, I'd suggest changing them around if you're having any sort of visual problems. Moving on, the bass, at least for me, for my headset, it was just way too loud. But this is really only a problem it looks like I was experiencing, because anyone else I talked to said that it wasn't too loud for them, that it was really good for them. And going back into my gameplay, it wasn't as loud as what I heard it initially playing it. So really, I'm going to safely assume that it was probably just my headset. And the presets I have on my headset just made it like overwhelming. But I just thought I'd mention it just in case. Depending on what you have for a headset, the bass might be a little too crazy, and you might want to turn the bass down if you have a bass boosting option of some sort. But if you're just playing the game through, per se, like your TV or whatever, you shouldn't really have a problem at all. Moving on, the enemies in this game are actually really unique. I think this is the first Call of Duty campaign. I mean, given I haven't played the Call of Duty campaigns in recent years, I think the last one I played was the Modern Warfare 2019 campaign. So judging on that one, at least, the enemies are actually really unique in this game. In terms of, like, instead of just all of them having the same amount of health and the same amount of armor and pretty much all having the same weapons, within this game they're a little bit more unique. Some of them just have our base armor and are easy to kill, only take a couple bullets to kill. But other ones actually have body armor, which kind of like in Warzone, where it takes a couple shots to break their body armor and then you're able to kill them. As well, some of them also have helmets. So same deal. You hit the helmet a couple times and that breaks, and then you're able to finally kill them. I also saw a lot of gun variety on the enemies. I mean, some of them there was snipers, there was people with shotguns, ARs, SMGs, RPGs. There was a lot of variety in what the enemies were using, which I liked a lot. It made the game a little bit more. It felt more unique, and it made it a little bit more challenging, which I liked. I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, it's just a Call of Duty campaign, that's really not the main focus of why you're purchasing a Call of Duty game, but made it feel that much better. Moving on, so a lot of the missions, they seem to be focusing a lot more on like breaching and clearing. Like a lot of the missions, I found myself like going into buildings and having to observe what building I was going into, like seeing what entrance I wanted to go into. They had actually had this really cool feature where you could put like a little spy camera underneath the door and see what's in the room before you breach into it. And then you'd go ahead and breach in, kill whatever enemies were in that room, clear it, move on to another one, clear that room, so on and so forth. You could even do stuff that, which I found pretty cool. You could throw like a tear gas grenade into the ventilation system, and the enemies would run out of the building, and you can kill them that way too. So there's a couple different ways you could approach the situation, which I liked a lot. But yeah, I found it a lot more fun instead of just like, hey, listen, shoot these enemies, get to this objective, alright, you're good, move on to the next level. It was a little bit more tactical, in terms of like, you actually had to think a little bit more, and I liked that a lot more. Me personally, I liked it a lot more comparing it to older Call of Duty campaigns. I liked it a lot more. The mechanics felt really good. The swimming felt great. Not only just like swimming in general, but the combat when swimming around felt really good. Like when you have a gun out and you're shooting at other enemies, that felt really good. The sliding felt good. It's not too crazy. It's definitely nothing like previous games, like compared to like Modern Warfare 2019 or Warzone. It's nothing like that. And I mean, if you played the Modern Warfare 2 beta, you would know that the sliding is completely reworked. But I enjoyed it. It's a good mechanic for sliding into cover. It's not really used to move faster, unlike the past where you could kind of use sliding to move around the map faster. I'd say sliding is more used now to like slide in and out of cover, which I honestly liked it. It felt pretty good. And the movement itself, like the running, jumping, vaulting, that all felt really good. So as for the weapons, the visual recoil isn't as bad as the beta. If you played the beta, the visual recoil was like insane. Like you could barely control what you were shooting at because of how bad the visual recoil was. And it's not even like actual recoil. Like while you're shooting, I'm a keyboard and mouse player. Typically when there's a lot of recoil, I have to pull my mouse down as I'm shooting. But in this case with visual recoil, I don't pull my mouse down at all. My mouse doesn't move. It's just a matter of like trying to stay on target because of the visual recoil is insane. But luckily they fixed that, as well as the muzzle flash. The muzzle flash was insane. Like it was so bad I could barely stay on target. I couldn't even see what I was shooting at because my screen was just filled with fucking muzzle flash. It was everywhere. But that's pretty much gone now. Like there was barely any muzzle flash at all, which I'm very happy about. So overall, the weapons feel a lot better. I mean, comparing it to the Modern Warfare 2 beta, the multiplayer beta we had, they feel a lot better compared to that. So moving forward into the full release of the game, and for the actual main content of the game, that being multiplayer, Warzone, etc., I'm feeling a little bit better going in because the weapons feel a lot better, and that was my worry initially with the beta. The stealth within the campaign felt really good, and it was honestly awesome. Like it brought me back to, if you ever played like the original Modern Warfare, released back in I can't even think, 2007, whenever that one released, the original Modern Warfare, and there's that ghillie mission. It brought me back to that, and it was really fun. I enjoyed the stealth. It felt like, again, giving the campaign more variety instead of just aim, point, shoot, Michael Bay action, boom, boom, explosion, like we would typically get. It gave the campaign a little bit more variety, you know, and I enjoyed it. As for the game difficulty, it's actually pretty difficult. I'd suggest, like, going in, I would probably play on regular to start off and kind of see how that feels. I wouldn't hop in playing hard or veteran because you probably won't make it past the first mission. It really is pretty difficult. I guess there could be an argument of it being maybe a little too difficult on the harder game modes. But I didn't try the harder game modes. I just played on regular. As for the story, like the length of the story, it's pretty long. I believe there's 17 chapters. So it's a pretty lengthy story. I mean, it'll take you a couple hours to complete it. I'd say for what it is, it's definitely worth going in and trying it out, because you get some pretty cool rewards for each mission you play. Like, they'll give you, either double XP tokens for completing said mission, or this mission you unlock an operator, or this mission you get like a cool calling card or an emblem. So, and that's for each chapter. So figure there's 17 chapters, there's 17 things you can unlock, which can be used for the other game modes, being multiplayer, Warzone, etc. And as I was talking about a little bit earlier, lots of mission variety. I mean, like, there's one mission you're breaching, clearing, another you're doing a lot of stealth stuff, another where you're able to drive various amounts of vehicles. There's, not trying, again, I don't want to spoil anything, but I'll leave it at that, is that there's a lot of variety. Each mission you're kind of doing something different, and you're playing as a different set of characters, and the story moves very fluidly. Yeah, that's what I'll say without spoiling too much. But it really is good. It really is, like, again, comparing it to the older Call of Duty campaigns, I definitely feel like, in terms of, like, variety, this has to be the best. It's so much more than just like, hey, Michael Bay action, bang bang, shoot shoot, move on to the next chapter, bang bang, shoot shoot. There's a lot more to it. So then there's the question, like, is this game worth buying just for the campaign? And in my opinion, no, definitely no. If you are buying Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 2022, I would definitely be buying it for the other stuff, for the multiplayer. And I'm sure Warzone will probably be free, but if not, then Warzone and the new game modes that they're coming out with. But mostly, like, the core of it is multiplayer. That's where you're going to get your value out of this game, is playing multiplayer. Especially with it being a 2-year game, you're going to be getting most of your time out of the multiplayer. Me personally, in my opinion, I would not pay $70, because I believe that's the price for the game, is $70 just to play the campaign. It's not worth that at all. If you make that choice, then, it's up to you. It's your hard-earned money. Me personally, I would not, though. But is the campaign itself worth playing? In my opinion, yes. It's definitely worth playing. Other than that, though, I really think that's the bulk of what I want to talk about without getting too much into the story and spoiling anything. So just to recap, story, awesome, visuals are great. Performance-wise, you might have a couple problems here and there, but really nothing too major. For some headsets, bass might be too loud. The enemies are unique. They have different, like, enemy types per se. The missions have a lot of variety to them. As I said, some missions you're doing a lot of breaching and clearing. Others you're doing stealth work. Others you're using various vehicles and stuff. The weapons feel a heck of a lot better. I feel as the weapons are at a pretty good place right now. I really didn't have any complaints about them. So yeah, weapons feel good. Game mechanics feel good. Swimming, sliding, running, vaulting, jumping, all that feel great. Game difficulty, it's pretty difficult. The length of the campaign, it's a pretty long campaign. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I want to touch base on. So overall, yes, if we're talking about the question of should you play the campaign, 100%, yes, play the campaign. It's fun. It's definitely worth your time. Should you buy the game for the campaign? No, not at all. In my opinion, no. Don't buy this game just for the campaign. That's way too much money, in my opinion, to be spending on just the campaign. If you're getting this game, get it for the bulk of it, being multiplayer, Warzone, the extra game modes, and then play the campaign when you have the time. Yeah, and I think that is it for this quick little review here. Yeah, so if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and give it a like. Subscribe if you want more content like this. Do all sorts of stuff, from reviews on new games, old games, so on and so forth. And yeah, that's it for me. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.
X-ray down. He was here. This is a bloody opposite, huh? Poke around, sir. Look about. Look, Hassan's uniform. So he was here. Lost him when we secured the crash site. Are you saying we shouldn't have helped? Choices have consequences.
All Bravo, we got movement out here.
On the way. All Bravo, circle up outside.
If Hassan's gone, then what the hell are they still protecting?
Bloody good question.
What we got? Warehouse. Roll up doors open. Heard something inside. Copy. Let's clear it. Contact! Search it. Let's find what they were hiding. This warehouse wasn't on the intel. Check the container.
What the fuck is this?
It's all in English.
Steaming Jesus.
Ballistic missiles.
It's a mobile launcher.
These will go 1,000 miles.
Yeah, at least. How the hell did Iran get their hands on this?
7-6. Get us through to Laswell. Roger, stand by. Bravo 7-6, Charlie to Watcher 1. How copy?
This is Watcher 1, send traffic.
Laswell, this is Ghost. We got something.
Tell me you found Hassan.
Ghost. Take a look at this.
Ghost, do you have Hassan?
Negative. We found a weapons cache. Hassan's got missiles. They're American.
07, this is Gold Eagle. Actual, repeat your last.
I'll say again. Hassan has American missiles.